How's it going? So I am trying to keep up with my weekly content, to be perfectly honest. I've got some things I want to unveil, but it's just not the right time. So I was trying to think of some stuff that I could do that I haven't done in a while. So I figured I'd give you guys an update on my Barranquilla Colombian boas. They are my favorite locality boa, and to be honest, they're probably one of my favorite animals in my collection. So anyway, I'm going to show you guys how those guys are doing. It's just going to be kind of a short video, but I know you guys like seeing stuff. So anyway, hang tight. All right, so this is my male Snoop. So he just shed out and is looking rather dapper. So I figured I would take him out, and it's really nice weather today. So you could probably see all the pinks and everything in him. Truth be told, I think he would probably breed now. I'm not a heavy feeder, but look at this tail, just freaking awesome. Totally awesome. But I'm gonna give these guys another year. My female, I was thinking of pairing her up next year, but I'm not quite sure I want to do that. So I might give them 2 years. I'm not sure. I am moving to Florida next year. That is the plan. Although I'm kind of kicking around moving later this year with and getting my mother-in-law over there because she's moving with us. Maybe getting that done and squared away first because she owns her house, so we will be selling that house as well as our own house and buying a house back there. So I'm a little nervous. And now my wife's parents, which are divorced, their dad is talking about coming also, which wasn't planned. So I don't know what's going to happen, but figured this would be kind of a cool little video to do. But with everything going, oh, that's right. My point of bringing that up is that I don't know if I want to pair very many animals moving from California to Florida. Just not sure I want to deal with that. I've got freaking fire pits right behind me. I should have moved that beforehand, but anyway, so this is Snoop, the male. As you can tell, he's super placid, laid back, great snake if you have kids around or first timers or people that really want to hold a snake with an impressive size, but they're not really worried about getting bit. These guys are a great option. I have never had an issue with shedding, feeding, handling, you name it. They do have arboreal tendencies, so you could keep them in tubs if you wanted to, but I have these guys in 3 foot by 18 inches tall by 18 inches deep cages. They're display cages, actually same size cages I use for female Amazon tree boas. I don't know if they will stay in those cages, but I've got some perches in there and some basking options, and I find them, and they've also got hide boxes, but they are out in the open, hanging out, perching sometimes, and sometimes they're down in the hide box. It just really depends, but they are a very, very easy to keep snake, and really a favorite here at Godbold Exotics, and I would like to get more. Now, a little thing about these guys is they are classified as Imperator. Some people have called them Constrictor. My personal thought is they are probably a subspecies or a naturally occurring hybrid that has evolved over time, because they've done scale counts on these guys and they don't match the Imperator scale count nor the Constrictor scale count, but their natural range in Colombia overlaps both Imperator and Constrictor. So I don't know, that's just my personal thought. I'm not a taxonomist, so it would be really cool if some work would be done on these guys to kind of do some DNA sequencing and see where the variance lies between both Imperator and Constrictor, but hasn't been done yet, at least not to my knowledge. If it has, make sure you comment in the description below and tell me where I can find a link to that paper, because I'd love to read it. But really, really enjoyable. I think I'm going to go ahead and put this guy up and grab my female real quick, who is a little bit bigger. But anyway, you guys hang tight. Okay, this is Shakira, I know. Colombian boas, I couldn't help myself. But she has quite a bit more orange on her. I don't know if the video's picking it up, but man, she is just like covered on her sides with orange, especially if you look. Oh man, I wish you could see like the sides of her jaw and like the sides of her head. I mean, it's just totally like pink and orange. These guys are not a morph. This is like the natural look of these guys. So I don't really have anything against morphs. They don't really do it for me, although there are a few morphs that I really do think are pretty cool and that I would love to work with and breed. If you're looking for something that's a non-morph that doesn't get super big, I know a lot of animals will grow as large as you want to feed them. I'm not a heavy feeder, but she's taken small frozen thawed, well, they both are taking small frozen thawed rats, as many as I want to offer them. Usually they only get one, and I probably only feed them every 10 days or so. But sometimes I'll throw, if I have an extra one, I'll just throw it in there and leave it at the hide, and it's gone, by the morning. So they're super easy to feed. You don't even really have to sight feed them and tease them, because they'll take it right off the tongs, or you can just sit it next to them and it's gone in a half hour. But yeah, Shakira, she is probably, to be perfectly honest, she's probably my favorite snake in my collection. Amazon tree boa is included. I mean, that's just how much I enjoy these guys. I don't think Amazons have, I don't think they deserve the reputation that they have, but you do have to kind of watch. They're very alert and they follow movement, and you could get bitten if you're not paying attention. These guys are not like that. They're just inquisitive, and they move kind of slow. The tongue's always flicking. You don't ever see that poised S-curve where they're gonna like lay into you. They're just a very, very docile, placid, easy to care for snake that doesn't get very large. And this guy's probably, or this girl's probably, if I had to guess, she's probably the size of what I would say, I don't know, Papuan Irian carpet python. If I had to say size, I mean, she's not quite the girth of a baseball. And I'm not saying she may get, decent size. She's probably gonna grow a little bit larger. I had thought about pairing her up this next year, but I think I'd I'd like to give her another season and give her another year. They're like 3 years old. If I had to, I don't have the exact date of birth on hand, but I have to go back through I have it all. It's just tucked away in drawers, so I'd have to go back and look at it. But yeah, they're about 3 years old, maybe a little bit more than that. And actually, I think they're like right at 3 years old. So if I paired them up this year, they would be just shy of 4 years old. They'd probably be 3 years old and 8 months, somewhere around there. And I'm thinking I might give them an extra year to put on a little extra size, a little extra, let their bodies mature a little bit more and see what happens there. But I would love to get another pair of these. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't mind having 3 or 4 pairs of them. They are just such cool snakes. She's kind of flopping around, but again, no morph, just straight wild type. And the colors on these guys are just insane. She's kind of getting squirmy, but I just, if you haven't seen them in person, I mean, I think they rival any of the true red tails. I mean, they really are just absolutely breathtaking. And again, like, they're not finicky or fickle eaters, or, you know, they're not going to turn around and tag you if you don't have your guard up. They're just a really cool boa species, and cooler than pretty much anything that I've kept, to be perfectly honest. I just really, really love them. If you're looking to get some, I know Brian from Brian's Boas has some. Michael Beach also has some, and trying to think, Vin Russo I think has some as well. And I got mine through I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on his name, from William Babcock, one of the founders of the Habitat Systems cages. I know he has some, but really, really not super common. I think there's probably just a handful of people working with them. I have 1.1 a pair, and I would like to have more than that. They're very much deserving of a little bit more of a place in our hobby, and I think, unfortunately, if people knew about them, they would be more popular. There's just not a lot of people that know about them. They are a locality boa, and they're kind of a locality boa that doesn't get a lot of exposure. So if you're looking for something that's different, that's placid, that's not, I mean, they're not terribly expensive. I'm not quite sure what you can get a pair of them for now, but I want to say you could probably get a pair. I don't know. I don't want to say anything because I'm not quite sure. I paid under $1,000 for my pair. I imagine they've gone up a little bit, but you know, when compared to a lot of the other stuff, like true red tails, we're talking like $2,000 a piece. Yeah, I mean, these guys are much more affordable, and they're not going to be, I'm not talking something like $150 a piece. They're, you know, they're going to cost a little bit more than that just because they're really hard to get. But I think if you want something that doesn't get very large, that's easy to feed, obviously very handleable, I would try these guys out. You're not going to have to get a 6-foot cage for them. They're not going to need that. If you wanted to provide that and give them some arboreal climbing options, they'd probably use every bit of the cage, but they're just not going to be a huge snake. And you're not going to ever have to feed these guys rabbits. You know, I honestly, probably medium rats would be a large meal for them. Mine are taking small rats. So I'm really excited to breed these. I'm really hoping I can get a litter, and I would absolutely hold a pair back. I have no idea how large the litters are, but anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap the video up. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys see the beauty and the intrigue and just the badassness, cool, awesome factor that I see in them. I mean, I don't know how you could be a boa fan and not find these guys absolutely stunning and amazing. So take care, you guys. Stay calm and try not to sweat the small stuff. The world's crazy right now, but if you have any questions or anything that you'd like to say, make sure you leave a comment in the description, and I'll have some links down there, and I'd love to hear what you guys think of these guys as well. Awesome. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure you subscribe. Peace.